Hello everyone, welcome and Merry Christmas. This is Angelina and I would like to thank all of you for joining us here today for our Smada World webinar. We have quite a bit of information to update you with today. As always, we'll also go over and provide you with a general overview of where we're at with Next Level Africa. After the update, we'll be having the Q&A. This is where you're welcome to ask questions covering all things Smada World related. Just to cover, and this is very important, so I hope everyone's listening. So just to cover a few housekeeping pieces, I'd like to point out that we've noticed a continual repeat of questions from attendees on these webinars. It's important that people listen very carefully to all of the questions and answers that are gone over. Noel will answer the questions once, okay, and give as much detail as he has on the subject. If a question is repeated in the comments, it will not be answered a second time. Members will simply be told to please wait for the webinar recording to hear the answer again. The reason is that we gather here for the webinar so that many questions can be asked and answered all in one call, and we don't have to be continually answering the same questions from multiple people. Please respect Noel's time and the information that he's giving you by paying close attention to what's being said. Also, again, remember to hold all of your questions and comments until we announce the Q&A period. Actually, the comment chat will be disabled until that time. So once again, I'd like to welcome all of you for joining us from wherever you are in the world. We greatly appreciate your attendance and participation, especially during these holiday prep times with family and friends, keeping us so much more busy. So now, without further delay, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you our presenter for today, Mr. Noel Adams, the founder of Next Level Africa and our CEO and leader of the Smada team. Welcome, Noel.
Thanks, Angelina, and welcome everybody to this important webinar. It's been a little bit delayed on getting the webinar completed out there, so we've certainly been working on having that completed. Firstly, look, I'll just cover a couple of things there. What I'd like to do is to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and to you and your family and friends. It's been a particularly long year for us this year, and hopefully we do have what is considered a Merry Christmas for everybody. And also I would like to make mention of a recent trip that I went on. Was invited to Perth to attend the Care Force Christmas information meeting that they have over there. They had a couple of very good guest speakers that gave a lot of information to the members. I do want to thank them, and particularly obviously the organizer, Maxine York, put things together over there, made me extremely welcome. I stayed at Maxine's place and was able to meet a lot of the members of NLA and the Care Force group, and I do want to thank them for making me so welcome over there. It was an exceptionally good meeting, and so I just want to, I might get, can I find out if anyone can hear me? I'm not sure whether people are hearing me. That's a worry. Okay, all right, that's good. Yeah, okay, good. So I'm just having with this system, the microphone is not registering the bars where you have it, so you're not always sure. So I just thought I'd double check on that. And anyway, look, just to finish that off, I do want to thank everybody for making me welcome over there in Perth. It was a very, very good meeting, and I'm sure that there'll be plenty more to come from that. Okay, so now with saying that, look, I've been compiling things over the last couple of weeks, and I know people put things in the chat rooms out there which we don't have answers for, so we don't, trying to answer something when we're halfway through getting the complete update ready is doing it midstream, and so we want to try and supply everything that we can out there. What's been happening is, just to cover some of the technical issues, about 3 weeks ago, and I lose track of this as well because I don't know if I've actually slept in the last 3 weeks. At times there, we didn't know what day it was. I was on calls to Japan by 3 o'clock this morning, and they were just going off to bed then. So we were still working on compiling things out there, and it's been really, because we had this London, Hong Kong, Japan, South Africa, Los Angeles, and obviously Australia, where things have to be compiled, and it's not always easy. In South Africa especially, where the hub of what we do, our development team are there, they are without power every other day over there, and they lose power sometimes for 5 and 6+ hours, and it can be at crucial times whenever it's needed to compile what different teams are up to. But what happened is that you may be aware that there was a split in the NLA and Chingaling coins, so that they are now independent. And so they put the banking coordinates on the system about 3 weeks ago. And what's happened is that it just didn't register only for the states. It was registering everywhere else. We could action the banking coordinates there, but in the states it wouldn't allow anyone to complete it. It was throwing up a 504 error, and so therefore they were trying to work on it, and this is Hong Kong working on it. They couldn't get it fixed, so they brought in a technical engineer to get started on it, and they discovered it was an internal, that they made the error with it. So then they had to bring in the big guns in the way of our technical people in Japan that look after the wallets and coin. That's Jamie and Co. And of course they're all argy-bargy there about the working out a price to fix it, because the HSBC programming technical team are the ones that made the error, and doing it without bringing in the wallet team. So they managed to get that sorted out. So therefore the Japan are working on it now. So I mean, during this call there's going to be some good news and bad news, and in saying that, some of the bad news might be good news for someone, and some of the good news might be bad news. So it's going to be individuals out there that see this as positive and negative by the time we get to the end of it. Now, so we're saying all of that, we've had really major issues with trying to hold the investors together, because they've seen lots and lots of delays on this as well. So I'm not trying to defend anybody out there. I'm just giving you the message as it is, because so many people have had their input into it. That I'm not, as I said, I'm not on anyone's side. I'm just trying to. I've been left with the job to deliver what's going on out there. But what it is, London have confirmed that the investors agreed to wait until the day after Christmas. But they also said, because what the bank have done is that they've offered the investors to keep them. They've had to do this a number of times. These investors have been there now with us for some time, and the bank have put them into other investments to make sure that they're there. The bank have offered the investors the opportunity to put their funds into a 42-day option, and then they would bring the funds back in the 42 days. Now, some of the investors decided to pull out completely, and therefore they'll come back in once things are all sorted out, but they've decided to pull out completely. Now, what's happened out there, that there's been approximately $600 million that is now been taken from the 3.2 billion. Now, and these are just rough figures out there I'm giving you, but they're close to the money, I guess. Now, what's happened is that a number of the investors have taken up the option to do the 42 days investment, which is approximately $1.5 billion will go for the 42 days. Now that leaves us with approximately $1 billion that is still there available, providing this can be fixed and running by Christmas. And this is, we are hoping before on that. There are people working on this as we speak now, but nevertheless, that's where we're at. But in saying that, the $1 billion is going to be more than enough to satisfy everybody with any coins for sale. They'll be taken from the exchange fairly quickly. So therefore, that's where we are now. So we haven't lost these people as well, as there's just that the bank have just managed to put them into a comfort zone while we're trying to get this sorted out with the programmers and with our system there. There's just so much security that goes on with it. Everything is checked and double checked, and there's always a delay because we've got security all over the world with it. So the issue was with Windows on the scroll, and that will be automatically be fixed when the 504 error has gone. And it only happened in the States because we were testing it here in Australia. It worked. We have tested in Canada. It worked. In Europe it worked, but it was only America. That's why we knew it couldn't have been a coding issue, because it's a coding is coding. It's not, you know, country by country. It's global. So therefore, well, what it is with the 504 gateway timeout error, it's a HTTP status code which appears when one server does not receive a timely response from another server that acts as a gateway or a proxy. So in short, it means the server was unable to complete your request within the given time frame. So it just timed out, threw up the error message. So it's here where you can see the confirmation that the link into the bank that caused the issue, that's where the problem was. And that was, Jamie is now working on that and getting it sorted out. And so he's doing something there where it'll give a longer time for the servers to talk to each other, and so therefore that should fix it. Um, Mind you, because I haven't had time to compile this, it might be it's a little bit over the place, and I do apologise for that because it doesn't come into me in some sort of order sequence. I've got to work it out, and I was still getting information on this 15 minutes before the webinar, really. The blockchain is also connected to this whole rigmarole as well, so we should, once they get this 504 fixed, we should see the coin going onto the blockchain. That'll be both coins, that'll be NLA and Chingaling. Because this will be an important fix so that we can link the accounts out there. Now, I'm going to add in another major thing of what is going on, and about 2 months ago, the bank agreed, because we put a proposal to the bank, and I made mention of this on the last webinar, where we were going to be building our own e-commerce and social media platform, and the bank have okayed for us to do that. We are just still arguing about, we're discussing about how the comp plan will work. They've got their idea, I've got mine, but nevertheless, whichever way it comes out there, there's going to be quite a bit of activity that goes on. I just believe that, I mean, look, I'm a networker, the bank are not a networker, they see it differently. So we are negotiating that part of it, but nevertheless, it's been confirmed, because when this link is fixed, then the link to the e-commerce funds will be made available to me, and we'll be able to deal with it from there. But just to give you an idea, when we first spoke about this, because the NLA and Chingaling have now been separated. We no longer receive funds from the trading of Chingaling coin. The bank are managing the NLA coin for me, so that we're investing the NLA coin, so we get a return on that. Not only have we achieved the $20 billion, as you can well see in the asset account, 2 months ago, when they first told me about it, that we were doing it, we had $24 billion in a holding account to get this started. $24 billion, if you can appreciate that, that's quite a large amount of money to be able to build this e-commerce site we're talking about and social media platform, and to be able to pay members to be part of it. Then about 3-4 weeks ago, I was told that we didn't have the 24 billion. I was then told it's now 32 billion in the asset account, which, whatever we could do with 24 billion, we were going to be able to do a little bit more. And I'm rounding this off. It might be it's 31.5, it might be 32.5. I'm just rounding these off. I'll get the correct figures on this when we go. Anyway, 2 days ago, they gave me the new figure. I'm just telling you this because this is how quickly it's building up. So now what it is, we have $40 billion to build what I believe is going to be one of the biggest e-commerce platforms in the world. We will take on Amazon, eBay, and with our social media activity, we'll be able to take on Facebook and many of the others, Instagram, Twitter, all of those that we will bring together under the one banner. Some of you may have had complaints about looking at things like WebTalk and Frigga. I have to tell you this, that before I became involved with WebTalk and Frigga, I was a novice in the social media world out there. I really didn't use it, didn't know too much about it. So therefore, being involved with both WebTalk and Frigga has given me a little bit more knowledge on what I want to build for our social media platform. And we are going to be working in with both these companies, because what we'll be able to offer our members in the social media platform is going to be something that no other company has ever been able to do. So being involved with that, and look, they're still getting their structure in place out there, where it's all in testing. I want to tell you this, we've built ours, so we're adding things to it as we go. We've built our e-commerce platform, so we're doing all the videos up. We have videos made up on it now, and we're looking to launch it possibly the first or second week in January, probably the second week in January. So when I spoke about the investors' money, whilst in itself is a lot, you can see where we're going with this, and this will continue to grow. We will receive approximately between $1 and $2 billion a week, a fortnight on that, where we will continue to grow, and we'll be able to put more money in back to the members through this system as well. How I'm going to work it is that members will be paid in NLA coin, and we will use the funds to purchase the coin back through the exchange. So members wanting to sell their coin, because you'll be able to deal with it a lot easier in the system, transferring it to your wallet and then into the exchange if you want to liquidate the coin. So you'll have the option of whether you want to keep it, hold it, or sell it. So that's where we're going with that part of it. So we will have access to the $40 billion account that they're signing over to us. We'll have that, and we'll be able to deal directly with payments and things we'll do from operating it. So also too that we believe it's going to be great, and the coin will also go up in value, but a new increase is also due next week. So you might see 2 or 3 increases of the coin coming up for next week. And so you can understand why the investors will wait, as there is a new group that is coming closer. And as I heard today from Los Angeles, this will keep happening now, as the world is all over clamping down on people's bank transactions and anonymous transactions. So in the coins will be a safe haven. So we can see more and more activity, because we'll be able to show these the merchants and vendors out there that we'll be able to liquidate the coin. And so one of the things is, I'm really sorry that we have not in a position that we were able to go out and have ourselves a major Christmas, I guess, before the Christmas. And but I'm of the opinion and that this is going to happen within, and look, it may happen in the next few hours. It may, because they're working on it now. So you may see some trading happening in the next few hours, but certainly they're aiming for it before Christmas. So there might be something that you see in the exchanges that goes on, but you'll see coin values going up. You'll see trading happening out there as soon as they've got this ready. And so therefore we should finish up with maybe not when we wanted it, but I believe it's going to finish up turning up well before we have well before the end of the year for sure. And so look, covering that, we that's really where we want to be with a lot of the other things, with things that we're working on. I'll deal with those at another time because I just want to leave it open there now for any questions that people might want to ask to do with those things we're doing. And also there are certain things I can't answer, but the majority of it I can. I have released, I got the okay from the bank to release the e-commerce. It started off, we were calling it the $24 billion deal, then it became the $32 billion deal, then it became the $40 billion deal. Now it's the e-commerce platform because I can't keep changing its name. And we'll come up with a name we're going to trade it under, so all of that will happen over the next few weeks. And just to add in as well that we'll make a call probably early next week, maybe just after Christmas, or maybe slightly before. We'll put it out there whether we'll hold another webinar before the new year, because if there's trading that happens out there and we've got things going, we might want to hold another webinar just to let you know where we're at with it. Things like line 6 and 7 are now on the completion. It's just that there's been so much going on there, particularly with all resources going to getting and keeping these investors happening out there. But even if we lost the investors, the $40 billion is going to be our saviour in what we're doing there. I mean, it's coming on a little bit later, but it's nevertheless, it'll be our saviour out there. So we'll have funds to be able to meet anything that we need to do, any coins that need to be sold. And as I said, the merchants will absolutely love it, and they will want to take our coin with with their trading. So members will be able to spend their coins within our e-commerce platform if they wish, and maybe want to hang on to them. So anyway, but that's where we are with it. So a lot of the things will start to our energy will start to run towards getting line 6 and 7. And just so that you know that we believe that with our crowdfunding operation out there, because remember I still have the 100 billion a year is on the table for our humanitarian projects. That's still happening. So by the time we get that going and we get the e-commerce going out there, and we are getting very close to getting the magazine all fixed up. So our magazine will have a lot of information about where we're going, and a lot of the merchants will be able to take ads in the magazine as well if they wish. So we'll have a lot of featured vendors going on out there. So we've got some exciting times ahead. All right, look, I'm going to just hand it back over to Angeline now to open it up there for any questions that members might have. And I do want to thank you for attending this webinar. And we are in a position where we are getting there. It's nobody, I don't believe, could have had the technical dramas that we've had in the years we've been running this. They just seem to plague us with it. We are dealing with a lot of dummy spitters out there, and so we're managing to get over all of that issue, and we're ready to go with it. All right, look, I'm going to hand this back over to Angelina to just to coordinate any questions that members may have, and thank you very much again, everybody.
Thanks, Noel. That's a lot to take in for all of us. So I've opened the chat now for people to go ahead and type your questions in. And remember, if a question comes up that Noel has already answered, he will let you know that the recording will reveal the answer, so you'll be asked to wait for the question to be answered again. Okay, so pay attention to the questions that are being asked and answered. Okay, so we've got a question here, Noel, from Nigel. First question, and we're getting lots of Merry Christmases and thanks and appreciation, and yes, greatly appreciative of everyone, and we do wish everyone a very, very merry, blessed, happy, healthy Christmas, and we'll be back before the new year, I would imagine. Anyway, on to questions. If the fix is not completed by the day after Christmas, what challenge then presents, please? And this is from Nigel. So I'll hand the mic back over to you, Noel. Thanks.
Okay, look, thanks, Nigel, for that question as well. Look, I have been confirmed by the programmer, and this is Jamie in Japan. He did work until it was his time, midnight, last night, working on getting this sorted out. He does indicate that he's very, very close. It's just an hour or so to be completed. So I'm trying to be positive with it, that we won't have to deal with anything like that. So I believe it's going to be completed today, and so he's really wanting to get it finished out there and also get the coin on the exchange. So, but in saying that, I'm just delivering what I've been told, and I'm as keen. And look, the banks, everybody involved with this, the banks, our development team. Now that we've got Jamie on side, he's also very keen to get this completed as well, because there's a lot of people depending on this. So just to answer that, I believe that we will have it finished, and all I can say is we'll deal with any challenges after we know the positive or negative on where we're going with it. Phillips asks, with some investors opting for the bank's 42-day plan and others leaving, is there a need to change any existing sell orders at the current coin value? Look, I don't believe so, because you're going to see at least, I don't know whether they'll all happen together, but between now and next week, there's going to be at least 3 increases on the coin value. So I don't believe that. Look, in all fairness to it, the coins we have on the exchange is something that the $1 billion that will go will more than cover that, more than cover it. The extra coins are going to be released by the market maker once those coins are gone. So it's not going to make any difference to members selling coins out there. Nobody that I know of has got billions of coins or billions of dollars worth of coins for sale. So it's not going to make any difference to whether it was $3 billion or $303 billion. It's not going to make any difference to the coins being sold. Okay, Nigel's asked the same question again. That's what happens when you deal with a drummer. You have enough challenges as it is. Yeah, since we lost some of the investors, what is your prediction of the coin value next week? I really have no idea with that on the coin that's set with a market maker. We're not privy to that until we see it out there as well. We can only guess. Look, I haven't been told what blockchain Explorer it's going on to. Rama, there's just things going on out there, and so to be honest with you, the coin going on the blockchain, everything is a priority. Getting things in the right, right priority is always an issue because it can change from day to day. But we'll be discussing that later on today when I'm talking to the rest of the development team. We'll discuss all that, so we'll get all the information out about it when we get it. James, how liquid do you expect the CX to be in the days following this initial 1 billion purchase? I'm not sure what you actually mean with that, James. I mean, well, I don't know where to go with that. I'm not sure how to answer it. Yeah, also, I didn't quite understand what you said about line 6 and 7. Is line 6 still not completed because of the power issue? It's not the power issue, it's really to do with resource issues, and the resource issue is myself and the admin team that are helping put this together. So I take full responsibility for the delay in getting 6 and 7 completed out there. It's just that I've been up most nights trying to get this investor thing sorted out, but we'll definitely get back onto that. That's a priority now. Thank you. Those people wishing Merry Christmas as well. Yes, we certainly have that, James. We have a lot of balls to juggle at the moment, so we're about to have them hitting the ground, and I think there'll be thunder when they hit. Ray's saying that the Smada website looks good. Look, that's Lou Casabianca on that. He's the man behind that. He's a genius in what he does. So he's sitting there waiting patiently for us to pull the trigger on a number of things we've got planned. So there's going to be some really nice things appearing there very soon. Remus from Barbara. How does the asset account have benefit to members if lines have not complete? It's really nothing to do with that. They're not lines. They're lines and not related to the asset account. Yes, you're right there, Maxine. We've all been doing that. It's insane. We've been like a duck over a lake. You don't see anything on the top, but it's all happening underneath. and we can certainly attest to that. It's certainly, look, we can see movement going on out there, and when you've got such a large operation, I mean, who have you ever heard talk about the sort of money that we're dealing with here, of $40 billion to start up our e-commerce platform out there, and $100 billion that's per year that's been allocated for our humanitarian. There's no other company that can boast of such support that's coming in from a major banking group. Yes, Gary, I think you're right. Look, we've come a long way from back in the early days, and I say this with respect. Gary was out there, and when we were dealing with Next Level X, when it was in the hands of Mr. Leslie Wolf, and we've certainly come a long way since then, and things have changed quite a bit. So it's all we keep adding to it. It's just getting better and better each time. Gary's asking, will we see movement in the Chingaling coins? I'm not sure about movement in the Chingaling coins. I know that they're wanting to have everything in the exchange. Chingaling will go up. There's 4 increases on the Chingaling. You may even see them within the next 24 hours. But the Chingaling coin, I believe, will go up over $1,000 coin. And but remember this, that let's assume the Chingaling goes to $1,000. In saying that, I'd have to say that the NLA coin will probably go somewhere around about the, I'm just going to use $330 as an amount, which clearly that puts the NLA coin to a third value of the Chingaling coin. Remember this, when we first started out there, when the NLA was released and Chingaling released, the NLA was 10% of the Chingaling value. It's now 33%, or around figures. So you can see the NLA coin has done better, and it will continue to do that. We will, I believe, take on any coin out there to on what we're about to do, because vendors will, the word will get out there, vendors will want to take our coin. That's why. Look, I'm not knocking any other cryptocurrencies. We're involved in that world, and I'm not trying to put negative out there. I'm just putting what, you know, what is, it is out there. And we've seen Bitcoin go to $20,000 a coin this time last year. I did look there and see its lowest point there in the last week or two. It went through somewhere around about the 3,000. I think it's now nudging, give or take, around the 4,000. So you can see the fluctuation of that coin. Imagine if you had accepted that coin, if you were a merchant at $20,000 per coin and sold some products with that, you would be concerned, well, I mean, worried that when you're getting your money back to where you started, so you show no profit, you just want to get back to where you started so you can get out of it. So with the NLA, it'll just, what we've got in place now with the e-commerce platform going, we don't see that there's any chance for the NLA coin to go down. And as I mentioned to you before, that I managed to speak with our advisors in the crypto world over in Perth when I was there, and we're going to be able to put in place and do it quite legally, where people get the recipients of the of grants within the humanitarian, and I want to use a figure of $1 billion just to give you a guide. That $1 billion could go to 10 different humanitarians, or go to one, or multiple billions of dollars go to one out there. But on the basis of $1 billion, I want those humanitarian groups to invest in the hand that's feeding them, and to put 50 million back in to purchase coin from the exchange. Just that component alone would mean that, to use a rough figure, there would be $100 million a week being purchased from our coin, from the grants from the humanitarian. And if those people are doing that and buying and selling the coins and they show a profit, they're going to want to do it again and again and again. So you can see where there's going to be quite a bit of activity in the exchange. John, now that Chingaling and the NLA are split, does that have effect on my sell order? Okay. Not really. No. Whatever Chingaling are doing, they're doing out there, and we have the Chingaling. We're the only exchange apart from the global exchange that have listed the Chingaling coin. So we're trying to talk to the bank about, we will be the only exchange with managing the Chingaling coin. So we'll see where we go with that. But we're mainly concerned on and for those that have Chingaling coin sale, I won't talk about it now, but I've got something in mind if the coins are not selling. so where we can get people out of the Chingaling coin. But I'll talk about that a bit later once we see exactly what they deliver. Michael's asked, did you say that the e-commerce and social media platform has started to build? Yes. In fact, it was started a couple of years ago, so it's well on the way. And thank you once again, everyone, for wishing us a Merry Christmas. There's a lot of those happening there. Eric's asking when the 42-day, obviously when they start, so that will happen with some of those investors. Look, it could be as early as today, I really don't know. But 42 days, that's when it starts, and when it finishes 42 days after, those people will then come back into purchasing the coin. So by the time they come back in again, I don't know whether they will make as much money from what they're doing with the 42 days as they would if they had to purchase NLA coin, because I believe they're going to pay quite a bit more for it when they come in. Phil's asking, will we shift the hub from South Africa at some stage? To be honest with you, there's not a lot that we do in South Africa. I know that it might sound, but it's because we've got our negotiators there. But we don't run anything from South Africa. All our servers are outside of South Africa, so nothing's running in South Africa. I mean, they have a lot of major issues, so we're not reliant on them in South Africa. I mean, once we get running with this, our servers are completely divorced from South Africa. James, how quickly do you expect to be able to sell coin in CX in the days following this initial 1 billion purchase? How quickly can it, well, the investors will be the ones that buy the coin, so as soon as they can, their money is already in the HSBC bank. What the issue's been is that when they tried to do a purchase duck, it would not accept it. And the two have to marry together. So once they fix this 504 error message, they're going to have duck immediately deposited into their account, and they'll start purchasing from there. So as soon as the duck arrives, they'll want to get it because they want to get the cheap coins that are on the exchange. They all want that. Just to be clear with their RIMA support, the South Africa and Vayner, that they're not doing line 6 and line 7. We are doing that, so it's got nothing to do with them out there on getting that in place. All that happens is that when we've completed it, it gets loaded in on a cron in there, so they just feed it in. But that's from their point of view a 5-minute job, so there's not anything happening with doing it in South Africa. Margaret, will everyone receive an account renewals email? We haven't got anywhere near line 9 yet, so there'll be no account renewals on line 9 until we get it in. Yeah, Alex, look, we are looking at changing things in, Alex is asking about getting a printout and CX for taxation purposes. So we are looking to have all of that in place in there. So that's something that we'll be dealing with in there, so that people can have them for tax purposes as well. Kate is saying he's a bit concerned. You're a bit concerned. I'm a lot concerned. Okay. Bit concerned about the NLA programming issues. Should we not be looking for a backup team, programmers, that is? You've got to remember that it's not NLA. We have no issues in NLA. It's the bank's issue with the links to the bank through NLA, the coin. There's a whole range of things. It's not just one team. We're dealing with 6 or 7 teams that organises worldwide. But NLA itself does not have an issue. It's the other issues that, because the bank monitor everything we do, everything that we do in NLA, because it has to balance the coin. The bank are responsible for the security of the coin. That's why they've got that listed out there. So you can see where it all has to be linked in. But we don't have a programming problem with NLA. James is asking about the support for the CX. We are going to be doing all of that, James. As I said, everything is a priority out there. We just need to prioritize what we're trying to get put together, but we are looking at bringing that in and having it all supported out there. John, can you update us about the progress on Plan B plus send a member 1.7? I really can't understand that, John. Sorry, if you can rephrase that, I'll try and deal with it. You're talking about UPB plus on that? Or I really don't know. Phil, sorry to ask again, do you shift the hub from South Africa? I thought I'd answer that, Phil. When you say the hub, there's no hub in South Africa. So our development team are over there, but there's no hub as far as running NLA in South Africa. Will Chingaling be purchased with duck or Bitcoin on the exchange? I have no idea. It's probably both, I should imagine. Jen, for the average member who has coins for sale, would you recommend to sell all of them now or sell maybe 50% of their coins because the value is likely to go up a lot more? The coins will always go up. I mean, my recommendation is just sell what you need, and because they'll be an extremely good investment. You just look at what we've got going now. I mean, the coins listed there at $290 a coin, and a lot of members have picked up coins for $1. A lot of members have picked up coins in their commission structure. So I should imagine that the NLA coin will see $1,000 a coin very, very quickly. With what we've got coming with the e-commerce, etc., it'll just jump out of the box very, very quickly. So just sell what you need, and just hold, because you will be able to sell it at a very nice price. It'll be in demand. It'll be in demand right through, because we will be buying it. This $40 billion I spoke of, that is all to purchase NLA coin. That's what it's for. So as members get their coin, we will need to buy coin in order to pay the members, and those coins will be bought from the exchange. So when you consider that's ongoing, and replacing that with $1 or $2 billion a fortnight, there's a lot of meat there, and a lot of activity on the coin. So Craig's asking, do we anticipate the investors purchasing NLA using Bitcoin as well, or only duck? Well, at this stage they've only got the duck, but they can purchase whatever they want if they've got Bitcoin. But at this stage, all the investors, they've put in fiat currency and they're buying duck in order to exchange that for NLA coin. Yes, Nigel. Nigel's asking about the news of the fix outcome we posted in the Skype rooms. Hopefully, the site beats us to that, because you'll see trading happening. Anybody in America that, and I don't want you to do this to put in a deposit if you're not going to make the deposit, or throw the banks like a fit. But what the fix will happen is that in America, when you clicked on purchase duck, you had no scroll down feature. You couldn't enter your details in there. The banking details come up, the banking coordinates, but you couldn't enter your banking details on what your bank was and what you were depositing in there. None of that would come up. So at least when you see that completed, you'll know that it's ready to go that end, and the investors that are there will be getting duck delivered to their accounts. Okay, the UPB, well, John, with UPB, I noticed there that the owner of UPB, he's been hacked on Skype, so I haven't been able to talk to David for a little while, but the last I heard, they're still well on board with it. I think that what they have is the same as a lot of companies, including us, have had programming and dealing with technical people issues, but because they have quite a large number of accounts in Next Level Africa, it's going to give them the funds to do whatever they want to be able to possibly move on and get a better quality team of programmers. So that's not going away. They'll certainly be part of it, and part of our e-commerce social media platform. They'll be using the NLA coin. I'd love to use the NLA coin in UPB Plus now. The members on line 7, look, as I said, we are moving through that. There's just a couple more to complete on line 6, and then line 7 will be going in. Once we put line 7 in, then we can start contacting members about, because members can't log into it yet, so until they can log into it, there's no point in contacting them. And following the, I'm just reading this, from the support, following the reply, so why is the power outages in South Africa so critical to programming and linking lines projects loaded in relation to bringing the systems online? It's really not. It's not. It's only the communication with the rest of the world on what we're doing at the moment. It's not anything to do with loading these things into our servers and getting what we need done. They can be without power forever. They're not going to affect us. All right, look, I think we've covered that there now. There we are, we're up to the hour. I try to keep it as close to under the hour because we don't want the thing to run for too long. I'm going to hand this back to Angelina. Once again, thank you everybody for turning up. I hope that some of this information has been of value to you, and that we'll keep a very tight eye on what's happening with the fixes that they're going through now, but they certainly have brought some people in to get this job completed. All right, I'll hand this back to Angelina, and Merry Christmas again to everybody, and thanks for turning up. Bye for now.
Wow, thank you, Noel. That was a lot of great information. And again, this webinar has been recorded, so it will come out. Give it 24 to 48 hours or so. Give it closer to the 48 hours, okay? Because it is the Christmas season. And any new news, we will keep you posted. So with that, everyone, have an enjoyable holiday. Very blessed Merry Christmas. Bye for now.